Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. If you're watching this today, hit that like button, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, live. Cool.
Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun, the Daily Dish. I'm Ron E. Bradley. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day, phenomenal morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, wherever you are in the world. I hope that it's great. That it's a great day. Speaking of the date, today is the 17th day of February, 2025. And here in the United States, it's the day we celebrate President's Day. And of course, we have a brand new president to celebrate that many, I think, are celebrating, although if you're listening to the Dinosaur Legacy media voices, they may not be celebrating that new president nearly as much. However, the vast majority of people in this country are pretty darn happy with what's been happening. So, no regrets. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. My picture is kind of wonky, weird. There it is. And I see that we've got some really cool things happening in the chat. I want to thank everybody for being here early this morning. And if you're not in the United States and you're not celebrating President's Day, that's perfectly okay. I'm going to do a mic check. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Can I hear it over here? Okay, I'm going to do a mic check 1. Okay, you probably heard that twice. That's okay. That's what happens when I do the mic check. I like to double check, make sure everything's working the way that I want it to work. I might cut this one into some other standalone videos. That is the new goal on the channel, is to try and take this video and cut it up into snippet videos that stand alone, and it's not always an easy thing to do. I've learned that when I'm editing these videos, that the things that I do on this live show are not very pleasant always. I apologize. It's so different doing a live show than like a recorded video. There's just things that you have to edit out. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat. While I'm saying hi to everybody, there's something that you probably already have seen in the chat, but I'm going to address it after I say hi to all of you folks out there. Actually, no, wait. You know what? Let's reverse that. I'm going to start with this, and I'll address this first. I will address it because I see how many people are coming in this morning. This is great, especially for a Monday. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for coming in this morning, helping me wake up. I had an awful weekend with allergies. Saturday was the worst. Saturday, I was in bed most of the day because you probably can't even tell now, but my eyes are still watering. It's the one thing that is very difficult for me to stop. Even with allergy medication and everything else. Thank goodness I'm not in a sneezing fit right now. Those are the worst. When I go into a sneezing fit and I just cannot stop sneezing, and my eyes are watering. It's allergy season here in Florida. It happens earlier here than other places in the United States. And the pollen levels are through the roof right now. As a matter of fact, I can show you what that looks like. There's actually a thing. Pollen count today. There's a tracker. There's a tracker for it. It's pollen.com. And I'm going to put my zip code. Three, 2, 8, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, let me see what happens. Oh man, okay, so let me share this on the screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. There it is. There's the pollen count for today here in Orlando, Florida. And as you can see, it is an 11. It's an 11 out of 10. It's 11. Top allergens are grasses, oak, and juniper. I am allergic to all these things. Supposedly it's going to go down a little bit tomorrow, but it is killing me right now. So I'm taking the stuff I think that I'm supposed to take and all that. But man, Yeah, allergies are off the freaking charts right now. But I want to thank each and every one of you for being here because, in addition to the caffeine and the allergy medicine and everything else, you guys get me out of bed. You guys are the energon to my transformer. You guys are the energon that makes this guy transform and roll out of bed in the morning to be here.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
This stuff is the greatest. And another thing that we like to do on the channel is celebrate all of you. Why do we celebrate? Because you guys are that energon, but also because you guys help out the channel. You support so much with super chats, super thanks, super stickers. Sometimes you drop memberships. Somebody becomes a member. Somebody drops a gifted membership. All of those types of support. PayPal, buy me a coffee. All of those, even buying things from the spread shop that I have on here, like this hat. I know Go and Shogi just bought a hat. When you get it, I got to see it. Hey, any of those that happen during the show, I love to celebrate those. And we have one right away this morning. Ruby Hoove gifted a membership, and that membership went to Judy Mae Collins. So Judy Mae Collins, congratulations on your brand new membership in Follow the Bradleys Fun. And we love to celebrate those things. How do we celebrate? Well, we have various little celebrations that I like to do. So I'll show you one of my favorites. We'll get started with that. And if you are a member, get ready to hit those member emojis in the chat as we all celebrate together. Thank you so much. Let's celebrate. Okay, all right. And let's say hi to everybody that's here this morning. Oh my goodness. So first through the door was Fairbrick Studio with a hello. And we've got Jeremy Heath chiming in with good morning, everyone. Native Hawaiian says aloha and good morning, y'all. And then right after that's when Ruby Hoove gifted that brand new membership. Jeremy Heath, woohoo! Dude, man, cuz. Hey, good morning, everyone. Dude. What's up, dude? And then Pam Empson, good morning. Ronald McBradley, follow the Bradley's Fun and chat. That's funny, Ronald McBradley. By the way, my name's not Ronald. A lot of people always think that because my name is Ron, it's short for Ronald. It's actually short for Byron. That's right. My name is Byron, so I go by Ron. True story. And then my mom is here, Kathleen Fantazi. Good morning, everyone. Tom F. is here. Prayers for Linda as Linda continues to recover from surgery, and she's here in the chat. She says good morning, F, and good morning, Linda, and I am praying for you to have a great recovery. Juliet says good afternoon. Follow the Bradleys and chat, and the Bud Files is here. Good morning, people, and another great wrench coming in as Jeremy and Tom, and Go and Shogi is here. Says good morning. Hello, Go and Shogi. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. And then do back and forth with the highs to each other. And then I see Magical Mousers is here. I love the Magical Mousers. Thank you for coming in this morning. Mr. Fulton Mraz. Morning, Ron. My mom's going to have an eye surgery tomorrow, so keep her in your prayers as well. Everybody continue to pray for Mr. Fulton Mraz's mom. Eye surgery is no fun, that's for sure. and Native Hawaiian. Aloha. Aloha, Native Hawaiian. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to each other here, back and forth. And then we've got OCDD93 is in the house. OCDD93 and Dude Man Cousin. I think that catches us up to the chat. And we have some things to discuss this morning for sure. But before we get to that discussion, I'm looking into the future, and I see perhaps a new guest coming on.
Doc, calm down, okay? Just calm down. It's me. It's Marty.
No, it can't be you! I sent you back to the future!
Hey, Doc, that's right, but I came back again. I came back from the future. Don't you remember last night? You fainted. I brought you home.
This can't be happening! You can't be here! It doesn't make sense for you to be here! I refuse to believe that you are here!
But you are here.
Hey, everybody. Morning, Ron. Good to see you. Hey, chat. Glad to be here this morning. Yes, indeed. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I am good. I am doing good. I just got my 11 a.m. show, my 11 a.m. tour together, and jam-packed show, 7 destinations this morning. But I'm glad to be here, of course, ready to talk about anything and everything. I think the next 4 years is going to be interesting. But I will say this: as long as we got Disney, as long as we can see that there are good people in the world, we're going to be fine. I really do.
You know what? Speaking of good people in the world, how about if we start with a good story? You want to start with a good story? All right. So
let's go.
I actually think this is a good thing. Anthony Mackie, as you know, said some things that may have been questionable when it came to Captain America not representing America. Okay.
Yes,
maybe that was a faux pas. Maybe he misspoke. I don't think it was necessarily good from a marketing standpoint to tell everyone that your Captain America doesn't stand for America. But I'm not going to say that this makes up for it, but I do think that this is a good thing. And I'm going to put it on the screen. Let's see if I can share this because this happened very, very near my home. And had I chosen to go to this particular theater at this particular time, this would have happened.
I think I know what you're talking
about. Yeah. Captain America, Brave New World star Anthony Mackie surprises guests at Disney Springs. Now, for those of you that don't know, Anthony Mackie was the master of ceremonies at the Daytona 500. And here is Izzo's place. Yeah, so he was the one that I think that did the 3, 2, 1 go and raise the flag or whatever, and actually started the Daytona 500. So since he was in Florida, I guess you're a Disney star. You can go to Disney for free, and you get the VIP treatment for free because I'm sure Disney pays for that for all these stars. I imagine the stars, the people that actually have tons of money and can pay for all this stuff themselves, they never do.
Sure. So I mean, if you think about it, because it's a Disney movie, like they own the park. They own Disney Springs, so it wasn't like they had to pull in the marketing budget. Just go over, we'll set it all up and good to go. So
yeah, but I think this is good because if I'm in the audience and I'm going to watch this movie, and especially if I'm just going as a regular fan and I want to see what Anthony Mackie brings to the Cap America role, and he shows up, I think that's pretty cool. I've seen some of the video of it. And he's kind of jokingly throwing popcorn at people, which is pretty funny. It looks like there's a little bit of a video here. Hopefully I don't get claimed for this because it's just an X video. I think I've actually seen that from the other person's perspective. Yeah.
Fun, enjoy the movie. It's a Wayne Dang, you have a good time. So, y'all enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here. You're the man.
Now,
was
you gotta love the fact that it's not even a full theater. Like there's empty seats sprinkled throughout.
yes.
um, uh, maybe it filled up after. I don't know. Sometimes it filled, but this was the 9:30 p.m. showing on Saturday night at Disney Springs at the AMC theaters there. Now I watch all my movies much closer to home. There's a theater literally 5 minutes from my house, and it's a great theater, and it's cheaper. And they have nicer seats and they have better menus. They actually have a killer hamburger at this theater. They got one of those things where you can actually order at your seat, and they have like little trays at the seat. So if you like scan the code on your seat, you can order online and they'll bring it to you even during the movie. It's really, really cool at my theater.
Yeah, those dining theaters are lit. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't like my theater didn't start off that way. They revamped it a few years ago. I think they did it. I want to say they did it just before COVID, not after. But they actually have a full bar and everything. So, but I never go out to the big theaters like Disney Springs or the City Walk Theater at Universal. There's like those are the biggest theaters in our town. Every once in a while, I will go to the IMAX theater or the IMAX 4DX theater, which is really, really close, like right across the street from where Epic Universe is going to be. So I might go there if I want to see something in IMAX, but that's rare. Like the last thing that I think that I saw in IMAX was Avatar 2, because there's no point in seeing an Avatar movie without seeing it 3D and IMAX.
Oh yeah. And I think they use IMAX cameras in Avatar, so yeah, that makes sense.
Well, and also like I'm going more for the spectacle than the story when I go see Avatar. Did you see Avatar 2, Braylon?
I haven't. I've only seen the Avatar 1. Now I've heard Avatar 2 was really good. And of course, after that, came the whole intellectual property and all the parks, and now they're going to have Avatar in California and stuff. But no, they really did their thing with Avatar. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So
no, it's good. It's funny because there's an hour of that movie that in any other movie would be completely wasted, right? Considering wasted time, but it's almost like a ride. Okay, so when you go see Avatar 2 in IMAX in 3D, there's an hour of the movie where it's literally just the kids discovering this new water world. And I'm telling you, it literally does take up a full hour of the movie with no story moving forward, and you're just engulfed in it, and you're like, and it's so real. Like that's like Avatar. Really, yeah, it was like being on a ride, and we also saw Mario, the Mario Brothers movie in 4DX, which if you're gonna go see a movie in 4DX, that was definitely the one to see because that feels pretty darn realistic, and you're like, it's like you're thrust into the world of Mario and his games, and we were there.
I mean,
with the kid.
I can only imagine the sound effects and everything from that movie for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Anthony Mackie shows up, and he says, in a post to the Disney Parks X account, you got this is out of by the way, this is out of Walt Disney World News today, so it's really, really funny the things that they will write. The way that they're Gretchen McDermott wrote this, and it's just funny to see the way that they write. Like it says in a post to the Disney Parks X quote unquote formerly Twitter account. Like you have to say that. Like, come on, people don't know by now. They don't know. In a post to the Disney Parks X account, the company shared a short video clip of Anthony Mackie arriving unannounced to a screening of Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World at the AMC Theater Disney Springs. After a few moments of stunned silence, guests sitting in their theater started cheering and taking Mackie's photograph. Mackie carried a bowl of popcorn down to the first row of the theater, where he spent a few moments interacting with the audience and thanking them for supporting the film. So all I want to say about that is I think that a very good, very nice
Yes.
thing for him to do.
Absolutely.
And it's I can you imagine Rachel Zegler doing this for Snow White?
No.
No.
I don't. And you know what? Honestly, tell you the truth, like from what I hear, like nobody is looking forward to that movie of Snow White. Like even
I mean, somebody's got to be.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, even Enchanted has more of a fan base than Snow White.
Well, Enchanted's great. I love the movie Enchanted. I mean, Enchanted was almost like a perfect Disney movie of actually the element of we are cartoon characters and we're moving into a different universe and into reality.
Yeah.
And it's like that was a whole different type of thing.
Yes.
A better take on live action animation than any other live action animation, realistically. And it was funny.
Absolutely.
It's hilariously funny.
Yes, yes, it was.
It came out. I don't remember the year it came out, but shortly after that, I think I was in either after that or really just before it. But I was in Central Park in New York, and it was winter time. And there's a fountain in Central Park where the finale of one of the big musical numbers takes place in that movie. And so everybody's surrounding the fountain, and the big bam at the end of the movie, everybody's surrounding it with their ending pose. Well, I was at that fountain in New York City during the winter time, and there was nobody there, and it was empty. So I got a picture of myself inside of the fountain.
Really cool.
So that
it was drained and everything.
It was drained, yeah.
That's
it
cool.
was winter time. It was kind of ugly outside, but we had a lot of fun on that trip.
That's what's up. That's really good.
Go and Shogi says, I'm not a fan of Flight of Passage. It's just blurrier, more uncomfortable soaring. I did
see something about that. That it's ending at I think Disneyland. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Are they bringing Flight of Passage to Disneyland or?
Hang on, let me look it up because I thought I did see something on that. Hang on, let me see. Soarin' at Disneyland canceled.
Soarin' canceled?
Yes, it says Disney confirms retheming of classic theme park attraction. So the beloved Soaring Around the World will be officially replaced with the original.
So Soaring Around the World is being replaced with California, Soaring Over California. That's actually, I mean, people love Soaring Over California, so I don't have an issue with that. Let's see here. So have you had a chance to see Captain America Brave New World yet?
Not as of yet, no. I have to do that probably tomorrow. From what I've seen, just your review and La Renee Creole's review, and it seems like it's a mixed bag. For some people they liked it, for some people they didn't. I remember what you said that Anthony Mackie, did the best he could. It's interesting with Disney because if you guys remember, Touchstone Pictures was the adult division of Disney. And so, at this point with Marvel, it's really difficult for them to not only keep track of how the fans feel, but also how do you make this adult bit action movie, but also recognize that kids, still love these characters. You know what I mean? Because there might be a time where Captain America might need to mollywop and it might be gory, but you can't really go there because it's still Disney. So
well, I will tell you, this particular Captain America definitely curses, is a lot more foul-mouthed than the original Captain America, who they even joked with that he was so clean cut. And of course he didn't really utter bad words until Endgame, after half of his friends and half the universe had been killed off. Then he got a little bitter. But yeah, this Captain America, he don't mind throwing out a cuss word or two every now and again. But I will say this now. My personal feeling on this movie is that there are several movies that are far worse than this in the MCU. I personally would rate The Eternals, Thor: Love and Thunder. Those two are definitely worse. The Marvels is. I feel bad for the Marvels because I like what the Marvels could have been, but it wasn't. There's so many things that they did wrong in the Marvels that you're like, watching that movie is like, I mean, because everybody wanted to criticize the actress Brie Larson for her takes, and I get that, but she has been so outdone by Rachel Zegler. The things that Rachel Zegler has said that Brie Larson looks like a saint in comparison. But I thought that she was trying to do a much better job in the Marvels. And so the way Brie Larson played her character in the Marvels, I thought was much better than in the first movie of Captain Marvel.
Right.
But the movie was so convoluted and tried to fit so many things in, and then maybe there's actually some type of a relationship between Captain Marvel and Valkyrie, but it's only alluded to, and we don't really know because we don't want to. We want to. It was like, oh, I'm trying to satisfy this audience over here by alluding to something, but I don't want to make it all the way, so I don't. It's like, when you try to please everybody, you just please nobody. And that's what the Marvels was. So I'd say the Marvels is probably worse than this movie, but it's really, really close because this movie does the same thing. It tries to please everybody and it comes across as pleasing nobody. Well, while I think that there are worse movies in the MCU than Captain Marvel or Captain America: Brave New World, apparently the audience thinks that this is the worst of all of the movies in the MCU. So we're going to go over here and check out this article from That Park Place. Let me get this on the screen, share this tab instead, and I will bring this up. All right, so this is out of That Park Place. If you're not bookmarked to That Park Place, you might want to do so. This is Captain America: Brave New World under fire from IGN for portraying military heroes, although that's not even the story that I'm doing this morning. That one actually, let me see if I can find the one that I actually want. There's a lot of good articles, by the way, but this is the one that I'm looking for. Out of That Park Place. And this was on the 15th of February by Mr. Montanero. It says, Captain America: Brave New World earns lowest cinema score in MCU history, on par with Ang Lee's Hulk and Dark Phoenix in fan satisfaction. And I liked Ang Lee's Hulk. Actually, I will say that I liked Ang Lee's Hulk better than I liked this movie. But this is what he writes. Captain America: Brave New World has been awarded a B- cinema score, marking the lowest grade ever received by a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This places the film behind even the Marvels and the previously criticized Eternals and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That means Brave New World is officially the weakest audience-rated MCU film to date. CinemaScore, a trusted market research firm that surveys moviegoers on opening night, provides an initial snapshot of audience satisfaction. A B- grade is a clear sign of disappointment, placing Brave New World in the same category as notable superhero misfires like 2003's Hulk, Dark Phoenix, and Venom: The Last Dance. For a franchise known for its history of once consistent success, this is a significant setback. And there's our raging Red Hulk, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, Red Hulk. This low cinema score is even more glaring when compared to previous Captain America films. Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War both received an A cinema score, while Captain America: The First Avenger earned an A-. Even The Incredible Hulk, often considered one of the MCU's weaker entries, though I really like it, managed an A- grade. I also really like The Incredible Hulk. which this was a sequel to, and I'll get to that in just a minute. The sharp decline in audience approval underscores growing fatigue with the MCU's direction and dissatisfaction with this latest installment. What do you make of the cinema score, and what do you think, Braylon, that it's going to do to the overall run of this film?
Well, here's the thing. By the way, I saw Grace Randolph there. Grace is a hit or miss with movies. She said that the Super Mario Brothers movie was going to do nothing, and when she got called out, she was saying, "No, I was not. I'm not. What did she say? I'm not old or something." With that being said, I do feel that at this point, the fact that it received a B means that people still liked it, because we got to recognize that what fans want and what media wants are always two different things. So when this first got talked about, of course, anytime that character leaves, I mean, when Iron Man left, we all cried eternally, externally or internally. So I do feel like for those people who like Captain America, the fact that the franchise is still alive, this is a win for them. But for the fans that want it more, it's going to be an L for them. But I mean, there's worse movies,
Oh, definitely worse movies. Yeah, I would. The problem with the Eternals being worse is that the worst element of the Eternals is the thing that they brought to this movie, and it really, really bothers me, because I was kind of hoping that the rest of the MCU franchise would kind of ignore it and pretend the Eternals never happened. But this spoiler alert, guys, the celestial being that started to pop out of the earth because the earth is some kind of a big egg for celestial creatures, which isn't, I'm sorry, it's a comic book element that doesn't work in the real world of movies. Like when you're trying, like there's a suspension of disbelief, and then there's just stupid, right? There's like, I'm sorry, but I cannot suspend my disbelief enough that the earth is now a giant egg for a creature that is bigger than a planet. That's just the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
So anyhow, so now you've got the celestial was killed while he was popping out of the Indian Ocean, and he's called Celestial Island now. And Celestial Island is made of adamantium. And now they have this new resource called adamantium. I know, right?
Are they trying to do Moana? Y'all know when Moana is that what they're trying to do?
I think they're trying to figure out some clever way to bring adamantium into the MCU, even though Wolverine has had his adamantium for the last, 25 years, whatever. So there's this fight over the adamantium, right? There's this fight over the resource, and so much of the movie takes place around that that whole thing lost me. I'm like, this is dumb. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. I've got Culture. I've already got him linked, so it's all good there. But yeah, my take on this is that yes, there are worse movies, but the problem is the MCU is going downhill, and so the fans that are interviewed about a movie like this are probably the greatest Marvel fans that still exist, because they're the ones going to this at the prime time on opening night, and it ended up with not just a B but a B minus cinema score. So for some reason this one actually rated the lowest among fans. Quantumania is definitely not as good as this movie. Thor Love and Thunder, to me, I would have given Thor Love and Thunder an F minus. To me, Thor Love and Thunder,
I think people didn't really rock with that one.
I think Love and Thunder, the fact that you have a rock creature going on for about 5 minutes about how his gay dad's conceived him. I'm like, okay, this is just bizarro world. I don't need that in a superhero movie at all. So that was just like, that made the movie so bad, and there were a lot of other elements. And the worst part of Thor: Love and Thunder being bad is that it could have been good. I actually feel like the biggest missed opportunity there was a Disney Plus series of As Guardians of the Galaxy. Even if it would have been just a small 4-episode series or maybe a 6-episode series, having As Guardians of the Galaxy where you actually had Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy and showed a couple of their adventures together before they split, like they did at the beginning of that movie. That was a missed opportunity, as well as the fact that Thor: Love and Thunder was just, the letdown was the fact that I thought, okay, this is a follow-up to Ragnarok, which was my favorite Thor movie. I love Ragnarok. I'm like, Thor Ragnarok to Thor: Love and Thunder for me felt just like Wonder Woman to Wonder Woman 1984. Like, how can you have such a good movie here and such a bad follow-up movie? Again, it's like Superman and then Superman 4, Quest for Peace. It's like,
no, absolutely. Like I said, I think my the thing that I loved about Marvel back then is that, you know, they played around with the characters. And all right, going Shogi, much love. Hopefully the doctor's appointment goes well today. Good to see you as always. When Thor, you know, had that resting period and you saw Thor, you know, eating, you know, food around him and he was just lazy, it was nice to kind of see the humanity in Thor. You know what I mean? And I was hoping that, you know, with Marvel that they're like, okay, if they notice that worked, then they can kind of explore the humanity of these characters, because we always see them in these big epic adventures, but we never get to see any hang time or downtime of them just, you know, going to the bar and they got this drink because, you know, they went to college or superhero college or Sky High, to give a reference. You know, what's the backstory of your humanity? So I wish Marvel would do that more.
Well, you'll get that in Captain America: Brave New World. There's definitely some of that in there. My biggest issue with Brave New World is that it's not a Captain America movie at all. It is a Thaddeus Ross. It is Thaddeus Ross's sequel to The Incredible Hulk. That is literally what you're getting when you go to Captain America: Brave New World. And I think that's probably why the cinema score was so low, is that as good of a job as Anthony Mackie does as portraying this version of Captain America, and it's hard, right? It would be difficult for anybody. I don't care color, race, creed, whatever, taking that mantle away from Steve Rogers. When Steve Rogers had the mantle, you're going to get the criticisms that, oh, he's not Captain America because Steve Rogers is Captain America. I don't have an issue with that argument. I think it's a valid argument, but it's not one that I particularly care about. I'm okay with him taking the title of Captain America, but he is Captain America in a very different vein than the other Captain America, because he's about skill, not superpowers. And I do like the idea that there's a line in the movie where it says that, you know, Steve Rogers gave people somebody to look up to, but you give the people something to aspire to. In other words, because he didn't take the super soldier serum, it's like, oh, well, like, hey, anybody could work their way into doing the right things to be this kind of thing. Okay, I get that. I think that's not a bad idea. But the problem is that idea is undermined by the fact that the story is all about Thaddeus Ross. This whole story literally is about Thaddeus Ross and the leader and what they did together. I even forgot, you're going to think this is crazy, but at the end of the movie, I forgot that Giancarlo Esposito's character had been in it. I forgot about it. That's how wasted. You have an actor, a great actor in Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh my God, yeah.
He pronounces his name Esposito. Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Sorry. Let me pronounce that correctly. I had forgotten that he was in it until I was reminded later, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. His character was in it. He was an afterthought in the movie. They brought him on later for reshoots, and he feels like an afterthought when you're finished watching the movie, because this entire movie.
I mean, to have an actor of that range, if you don't know of Breaking Bad and the history of Gus, I mean, it's to the point where I remember he talked about this. I think it was on Conan O'Brien, where he was going to the restroom, and there was this woman that said, "No, you go ahead." It's like, no, seriously, you're here, and she was so afraid of him being Gus, even though he's not Gus at all. That's how rich his character history is. The fact that his existence is still that magnified. So to have him in Marvel and to have him as an afterthought is completely disrespectful.
Yeah, it's just so weird. He's in the first part of the movie, and that's where, I mean, it makes me wonder how the story changed along the way. Like, but the problem is, Sam Wilson's character does not have an arc. He is the same person at the beginning of this film as he is at the end of the film, with the same questions, with all of that stuff. And you don't see really any growth in Sam Wilson as Captain America, especially if you've watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where that was where, you know, his character did grow into, okay, I'm not sure about this, to, okay, I need to become Captain America and I need to take on the shield and the mantle and what that means to him. But in this movie, you don't see any of that. It's just, he's just there. The character growth all comes from Thaddeus Ross. And the problem that I had with that was that, unfortunately, and this is not the movie's fault, this is the fact that they had the actor William Hurt, who played Thaddeus Ross so well, passed away. And if they were going to do a Thaddeus Ross movie, I wish that it had been during the time that William Hurt had still been alive. This movie, the basic storyline of this movie should have happened, I think, maybe even prior to Endgame. Like, this would have been a better story, honestly, if William Hurt was the star of it. If it was they couldn't have done it this way because of the rights issues with Universal, and this is why it didn't happen. But had it been a Hulk movie with Green Hulk and Red Hulk and William Hurt, and the proper follow-up to the Incredible Hulk with Thaddeus Ross, it would have been like 1,000 times better, because this is Thaddeus Ross. This is a Thaddeus Ross Hulk story with Captain America shoehorned in, and it's his movie. So I kind of feel bad for Anthony Mackie in a way. I'm like, what? Will it make money at the box office? I don't know if it will profit at the box office.
Right.
In the end, the question is, while there's a $180 million reported budget for this, I believe that was the starting place. I believe that the $180 million that they're talking about in the papers right now is the reported starting budget for this film, that they're not counting all of the reshoots. They're not counting all of the bloat. I'm guessing that this movie probably cost at least twice that much, like $360 million for production, with all the reshoots, and you got to do redo CGI, and the CGI wasn't particularly good, which means some of that was shoehorned in at the last minute. And then $150 million at least in marketing. You're talking about, they probably spent $500 million to get this movie out to the public. It's not been completely reported yet, so we'll see in the end. But if that's true, this movie has to earn over $1 billion to break even at the box office. What do you think, Bray? Think it'll hit the billion?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, here's the thing, because I think I said this in your chat or La Renee Creole's chat. I said the movie will at least make $50 million. That's being generous. because we have to recognize, even though the audience is waning.
You mean 50 or 500?
No, I said no. My guess was 50 million.
Okay. Oh, over the weekend?
Yeah, and I only say that number because, like you said, Ron, that even though the fan base is waning, because it still received a B- score, people still went out. And usually, superhero movies, they do bring in a $30 to $50 million range, at least, if nothing else. But yeah,
well, I
don't think it'll make over 50 million. 50 million is my guess.
No, I think that it's going to hit. Well, it's got 5 days though. It's got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today, and it might hit over 100 million at the box office this weekend. But that doesn't say much for the following weekend because all Marvel movies are very front loaded. If you had a 50% drop off, that would be really, really good. Even I would say 55 to 60% drop off is pretty decent. But if it goes to a 65 or 70 or even a 75% drop off, which is kind of what I think we may very well see for a movie like this, it's not going to be good for them. That's what Ant-Man Quantumania did, if I remember correctly. It had a pretty decent opening weekend, and then it just dropped off really, really bad. So we shall see in the end what this does. Anthony Mackie plans on being Captain America for a few more movies, and this movie does seem to hint at setting some things up for the future, but it just the MCU just doesn't feel the way it used to. I mean, just a decade ago, there was so much anticipation for the next MCU movie to come, and I will always stick to this opinion that the way they handled Infinity War and Endgame with the blip, I just think that killed the MCU going forward, because it's very challenging to write stories based on a world where not only was half the population destroyed, that would be bad enough, but bringing half the population back, bringing that that would have caused even more problems than when they were destroyed. You're like, because all of the sudden, can you imagine the Earth right now? If the Earth, instead of having 8 billion people, if 8 billion people just showed up out of the blue, there's
that would be a very horrific catastrophe. And not to mention too, as a storyteller, right? If I'm at Marvel and we have this war through infinity upon infinity in different multiverses, and then we do a movie called Endgame. As a storyteller, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is the end game. This is it. It's over after this. There's nothing else. So when you make movies after Endgame, it's like, okay, so did the game ever really end? And usually if a game never ends, there's usually hidden levels. There's usually things that were hints that told you that there was a bigger game afoot, but nobody's feeling the energy of that there was a bigger game afoot. And I think that's why the audience seems to be, at least I'm saying this from my media brain, y'all, so please forgive me, but that's kind of how I'm feeling with my media brain, is the audience did not feel that the energy was matched from Endgame to following it through, where the audience was respected. So the intelligence was disrespected. Of, you put out a movie called Endgame, but there's no bigger game afoot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and with, I mean, they couldn't decide on, oh, we have Kang. Oh, no, we have an actor that now we can't hardly use because of his personal situations. And then you have the Black Panther. That actor passes away, but we're not going to recast him. And I mean, that's just so many issues have been created that the MCU that was the MCU in the last decade was so coherent and cohesive, and one thing moved to another and everything blended, and now you don't have that. I will say that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Thunderbolts. There's nothing that excites me about the movie, but it looks like it could be a better story just because it's underutilized characters. There's just not a lot of buzz about it yet, so we'll see what happens after this. However, I'm very, very much looking forward to Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again. It's got a TVMA rating. It's supposed to be darker and grittier than it was even before. So if they handle that property correctly, I'm going to be very, very excited to see the Daredevil show on Disney Plus. And that might be something that actually brings people to the platform. And considering that they've been losing subscribers, we'll see what happens there. We do have one more story I want to get to. But first, we got to recognize the fact that we do have that gifted membership from Ruby Hoove. And since we do have that, Braylon, I know you're going to like this. Let's give them the Culture Bear celebration.
I love that. That was awesome.
Indeed.
Oh my God,
the dancing bear is awesome. It's so much fun. So let's get to this.
It's all about confidence.
I know, I love it.
Oh my God.
Let's get to this last story. I'll get this on the screen. Let me see if I can put this up correctly. There it is. All right. This one, so we talked about this being a low. Okay, so the title of this video is that there are two new lows, Disney's new lows. All right, one of them was the lowest cinema score in MCU history, but this is a different kind of a low. This is the kind of a low where it's hard to like, literally this is unfathomable. Disney asked people in a survey when they think their relatives will die. And I'm not kidding. Guys, who does that? Who sends out a survey and say, hey, when do you think your Pat Pop's going to pass away? What in the absolute hey diddle diddle is this? So out of That Park Place by Marvin Montanaro, Disney poll crosses the line as company asks guests about when their loved ones might die and leave an inheritance. I'm not even... You... Braylon, can you ever even have imagined that this would be a thing?
No, not at all. I mean, I covered this on Virtual Tour Live, and when I read it out loud, I'm just like, you have to be out of your ever loving mind. First of all, you already have people not liking Disney. That's hang on. There we go. Then number two, on top of that, the pure fact that it's unattainable now for people to go to your parks is another thing. But then on top of that, the only way you believe that you can get money for the expensive vacation you're going to receive an inheritance or someone's going to die. I know it's been doing that all show. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. No, but yeah, so that story just boggled my mind. Like, really? I was flabbergasted when I saw that.
This seems to be like a new thing in the world. As Pam Empson hints to here when she says that the BB licensing office asked me that, Ron, about my dad. I went ballistic on the phone. Well, when do you think that your parents might pass away and leave? I mean, it's just disgusting. Let's see what the article says. In a startling new low for Disney, the company put out a poll asking guests to predict when their loved ones might die. According to a bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal, Disney sent a 47-page survey to Disney Vacation Club members this fall, loaded with invasive questions about their finances. But one question in particular stood out for its morbid audacity. Disney asks respondents how likely they were to experience the, quote, loss of a family member or loved one, end quote, within the next 5 years, or to be, quote, receiving/managing an inheritance, end quote. Oh my, that's just unbelievable. Yes, you read that right. Disney issued a poll to its customers about potential family tragedies to gauge how many of them might soon be flush with inheritance money that could be spent on opulent Disney vacations. It's a jaw-dropping, ghoulish display of corporate greed, signaling that Disney sees the loss of your loved ones not as a cause for sympathy, but as an opportunity for profit. Yeah. Desperation dressed as data collection. Melissa Buckley of Cedar Lake, Indiana, was one of those surveyed, according to the Wall Street Journal. Buckley, who works in procurement for the oil industry, finally took her family of 4 to Walt Disney World this past December, but only because of a recent inheritance. She had spent a decade saving for the trip, but unexpected bills kept pushing her dream vacation out of reach. When her family finally made it, their 4-day Disney vacation, complete with line-skipping fees and a modest hotel stay, cost nearly $6,000. There's no way we could afford this from our savings alone, Buckley admitted. Melissa's story illustrates what Disney already knows. Their prices have soared beyond the reach of average families. And now, rather than making their parks more affordable, Disney seems to be banking on future windfalls from inheritance checks. I got to stop right there. It's unbelievable.
Disgusting.
It's from, if you read what my hat says, make Disney Walt again, and you try to remotely imagine Walt asking about this kind of stuff.
No, there's no way.
I have an annual pass. I have the lowest, cheapest annual pass to Disney. This kind of stuff makes it very much harder for me to want to go. And there's a lot of good things about Disney property. There really are. There are a lot of really, really good things about Disney property. But let me put it this way. I'm working hard to get my family annual passes for Universal. We want to switch over. Universal's thing that makes it more challenging is the down payment process for their annual pass. Their down payment is half of whatever the annual pass is. So if you want the highest level pass, it's the highest level down payment, and the month to month is not bad. It's just the same as like a Disney thing, but their lower level passes also don't include free parking. I wish they did, but they may change. They may look at that. They may change. There's a very good chance Universal's pricing changes in response to this disgusting stuff from Disney.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they will. I think that Universal will look at that and go, okay, you know what? We can make our parks more accessible. The reason that I think one of the reasons they haven't is because honestly, Universal parks have become so popular in the last several years with the implementation of Harry Potter worlds and all the other doing a new park in Epic Universe. They're becoming so popular. They don't want them to be overcrowded every single day, and they know that that's going to happen while the Disney parks are getting less crowded. So it's kind of weird. It's like, I don't want to give Disney my money, but it's kind of nice to go in a less crowded park. So there's some irony there too. Good morning, Arlene. I see you in the chat over here.
Good morning.
What are some of the parks? You got different local parks around you. What's your local amusement park, theme park?
So the most local Yeah, so the most local one by me is I think the big one that everyone goes to is Cedar Point. Like where I live is in a small town, so there's not really a lot of big attractions. So all the big attractions are, Kalahari, which is a water park, but they also have indoor theme parks and Cedar Point. Those are the big ones. Six Flags and Cedar Fair bought Six Flags. They have not went to this. Even SeaWorld, Hershey Entertainment, Merlin Entertainments, they have not went to this level. I have constantly said the best time that Disney has ever been Disney was the happiest celebration on earth with Aaron, Dave, Stacy, and Luke. And when they did the Year of a Million Dreams, that was the best time that Disney was Disney. Because
I actually visited from Missouri. I was living in Missouri at that time. I went in 2006, and it was still the Year of a Million Dreams was going on, because it ended up being more than a year. As a matter of fact, the sign that they put in, the new sign to Walt Disney World for Year of a Million Dreams, actually lasted all the way up until the 50th anniversary. So the new sign that's up there now, when you drive into Walt Disney World, it says the most magical place on earth. Up until the 50th anniversary, until 2021, it actually said where dreams come true, which was the sign from A Year of a Million Dreams. It's fair that they took that sign down, because I don't think there's a lot of dreams coming true at Walt Disney World anymore. And the second thing is, the only thing magical about it now, if it's the most magical place on earth now, it is because there is no place on earth that will make your money magically disappear faster than Walt Disney World. Yeah, that is. There's more to that story that you can read on that park place. But we got to get going over to Culture Casino here, and I know you got to do your show at 11. Braylon. Yes. Tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs.
Yes, indeed. You guys can find me on Instagram at Braylon_Lee25. I'm also on TikTok, which I don't really use my TikTok like is. Excuse me, let me go to it real quick here. And like I said, I'm not really that. I'm a content creator, but I'm more deep onto YouTube just because of the accessibility of it. But my YouTube is Braylon Lee 28, and then of course Braylon Lee's virtual tour. I cover media, media, culture, human interest stories, all from Black perspective. But I also do a lot of theme park news over there. And when I do theme park news, I try my very best to be a fan, but also say what needs to be said. And it's not always easy. I mean, I have autism. So when I saw the lawsuit over Disney DOS, it boiled my soul so you are now disrespecting people who didn't ask to be here. And on top of that, it's not affordable. So now you got to have people decide between their wallet and them being respected.
Yeah. Dash, obviously, Dash was never an issue when fast passes were free, but Dash became an issue when you realize, oh, well, now it's not free, and we really want these people who are disabled to pay for Lightning Lane. We don't want to allow them any special access. Disney touts being inclusive, and it seems like the more that they tout being inclusive, the less inclusive they are. And it's really sad, because I wish that the company was something better than what it is. I mean, it's universal.
And, honestly, to tell you the truth. Yeah. I was just going to say, I think, to be honest with you, I know they're trying to find their new CEO. And I think that for Disney, they need a dual CEO. They need somebody who knows the books, like Frank Wells did, and somebody who was the creative CEO, like Michael Eisner.
Yep.
But I will say, for the creative CEO, you are going to need a Disney nerd. You're going to need somebody who doesn't give a flying damn about the bottom line. And not because they don't know that the bottom line doesn't matter, but they need to be about the bottom line of the fans. Because at this point, what y'all need to do at Disney, because I did a whole stream called Six Flags, the theme park of the fans, y'all just need to take all the projects that y'all never completed, put it to a vote, whichever gets the most votes, fulfill that. And, you know, in terms of, you know, franchises like Universal Fan Nights, give people a nights. That is market research to see, first of all, what franchises have, you know, heat to it, but also to give these franchises exposure. There used to be a time where Radio Disney broadcasted live from the theme park.
Yeah.
Do you not know how cool it would be?
I even know where the station is.
Content studio where Rob.
Yeah, I know exactly where the station is. It's in Hollywood Studios. It's where the Olaf meet and greet is now, but that's where the station.
Yeah.
But yeah, sub to Braylon, and I will be here tomorrow, and you're going to see a lot more content on this channel coming up, because I think I've finally got myself to a workspace where I can put a lot more content out, and I'll be here tomorrow. Tuesday's my busy day with the Daily Dish, and I'll be on WW Pro, and we've got just a lot more stuff coming out of the gate. Yes. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And of course we have let's see here. Thank
you, Jeremy and Pam. Much love to y'all. Much love to you, Ron. Great brother, great individual, and you have a lot more in you than you give yourself credit for. Take in some of the wins sometimes, brother. I really
Well, when I'm not in a sneezing fit from allergies, I'm going to try and do that. But let's do one more miniature celebration for fun before we do the outro. Let's send you over to Culture Casino right now. Thank you, Braylon. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And until the next time, we will see you.
Everybody, much love.
Soon. Bye, ciao.
Bye.